is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at DorothyLaneMusic.com. Yeah. Hey, welcome to Ruel's Running Podcast. It's Ruel. How are you doing? Welcome back to the show. If you are a return listener, I can't believe that you are a return listener, but I appreciate it. By the time you hear this episode, I would have released a ton of backed up episodes, and it's just the way it is. Been really busy, and still finding time to record, just haven't been fitting in the time to edit the episodes and put them out. But that's how it goes, and I apologize. But if you are a return listener, you're an endurance athlete of podcast listening and loyal, and I appreciate that. So if you are a new listener, that's pretty much the gist of how this podcast flows. Alright, I'm back. So at the end of the day, I just finished making dinner for the kids. I'm on the road again. Gonna do another run at the store. I'm always going to the store these days. I don't mind. It gives me an opportunity to do this. Yeah, interesting. You know, some days it's leftover. Some days it's like whatever is easiest, and it's all over the place. You know, one kid's eating steamed veggies, carrots and broccoli that I steamed a day or two before and had leftovers. Steamed it in the Instant Pot. But he's having fried Spam, and you know, there's people out there that think that the Spam meat is gross and whatever. But you know, I make it kind of fancy because I fry it on a cast iron pan with some bacon grease left over from the morning's bacon that I cooked in the same pan. So, and he has some steamed rice going on. So steamed rice and veggies and Spam. Then his younger sister's eating just the Spam and the rice. She's good. She doesn't need any veggies. Meanwhile, the other kid is waiting on some pepperoni personal pizzas. Not, you know, the ones that are you buy at the store frozen. And he's getting too heated up. So I left that with my wife to tend while I go to the store. I got to pick up some eggs for baking. I got to pick up... my wife's kind of on this ginger ale kick. I mean, I had to let her know that it's basically soda, right? To me, soda is carbonated water, right, with an artificial sweetener or sugar, and that's what the ginger ale is. It's basically sugary carbonated water. Never mind that it's called ginger ale. It could be called cola. It can be called lemon lime. It could be called whatever flavor, root beer, Dr. Pepper, licorice, you know, piss, Mountain Dew, whatever you want to call it. Red Bull, Monster, whatever. It's carbonated and it's got sweetener. You can put a multivitamin in it. It's not going to make it any better. It's still soda. And I mean soda not meaning like soda water, like something that you could produce that's going to be harmless, like off of the, what is the product? Soda Spring or something or other? You know, fizzing your own water. Yeah. So she likes to get the little tiny cans, 6-pack, little tiny cans, you know. So she's been doing that time to time. Not a whole lot. It seems to depend on what she is going to snack on or eat that dictates if she's going to enjoy a ginger ale. Whatever. You know. And, you know, I opted to like, hey, I'll go to the store and fetch you some ginger ale. And she's like, okay, you can do that. Just give me instructions on what to wrap up as far as cooking, getting the meals done for the kids. And she says, while you're at it, can you pick up some eggs for baking? I'm like, sure thing. And then the little voice inside of my head saying, and I'm going to get me a bottle of booze because I don't want to drink any more of the brandy that she bought for baking. Or I don't want to drink any more of the Di Serono, the liqueur, the almond liqueur, whatever you want to call it, Italian liqueur, because that's not feeling it. Just give me some bourbon. Good old-fashioned bourbon. I don't know why that reminded me of something. Got word from my brother that my mom was watching The Dirty Dozen. You know this 1967 Dirty Dozen movie? World War II setting with forgot who the actors were. Charles Bronson was in it, and Ernest Borgnine. All of these tween actors that you guys remember that are alive and thriving today. Dirty Dozen, the classic holiday movie. I should go look it up and watch it too. Speaking of movies, caught Frozen 11, as my daughter describes it as. It's Frozen 11 because of the way they write the title. It's Frozen II, right, for 2. And anywho, yeah, been busy, man. Been busy. And it's raining, and I'm gonna get home and just try and get in the mood. And I got more. I don't have baking to do. I just have like icing to do, and it's not like, you know, bukkake all over a cookie kind of icing. It's like detailed, artistic, you know, fancy. As far as I'm concerned, and I never thought that I'd be that guy. I don't know, is that even considered baking? I mean, you know, making the cookies, the sugar cookies, the gingerbread cookies, it's not hard at all. It's just getting the right recipe. The one that doesn't, you know, you shape it and then you bake it and then it just spreads out and flattens out and it becomes a big old cracker. Not those type. You don't need that type of recipe. You need a recipe that keeps its shape. You know, almost exactly the size that it was cut at. So we got a couple of those recipes. So those work out, and it's just, you know, all the baking is done. It's just a matter of icing. And when I'm done icing cookies, I have to assemble gingerbread houses. Yeah. So just to be clear for the new listener, I don't eat any of the cookies. I don't eat any of the gingerbread houses. I don't eat any of the baked stuff. You know, I just like to use the baking as a medium to express my creativity and what does it do? Yeah, it's funny. I guess I am perpetuating the unhealthiness that comes with sugars and grains, right? That's if someone were to consume them on the regular and is not responsible or knowledgeable to enjoy them as a life into living treat for a special occasion like a birthday celebration or the holidays, things of that nature. So, we're all grown adults. Is there such thing as ungrown adults. If you're an adult, you're pretty much kind of grown to whatever capacity you are meant to develop. I guess. I don't know. What do I know? I know nothing. So I better get on with my business, get my booze and my eggs and ginger ale. I'll be right back. Do you need a website? If you're an individual, a consultant, a group, or small business and need a site, or maybe you have an existing site, I can help. How about graphic design? Do you need a design for a t-shirt, logo, product, business cards? Maybe you need help with designing and developing a brand. I'm not an expert, but I do have the tools and the techniques to get the job done. How about a podcast? Yep, like this thing. This thing's a silly little show. Are you looking to set up a podcast of your own? Are you looking to reach an audience? Promote your business via podcast? Well, Abadam Studios. That's right, Abadam Studios. Yeah, so that's Abadam Studios. AbadamStudios.com, AbadamStudios.com. Check it out. Hello, I'm back. Hey guys, guess what? I'm on the road again. Yeah. I don't even remember what the last segment was, but I'm on the road again. And guess what I'm going to pick up? I'm going to pick up a carton of milk and some beer. I just got a request. My wife and I will be attending the company has a holiday party coming up, and my brother-in-law and his wife are going to watch the kids. So we are lucky that we have them in our lives to give us that level of support. That way my wife and I can go acting a little bit like adults and head into the city and, have a party. Be a part of a party. So, why am I telling you this? Well, because why there's beer. My brother-in-law's wife, she likes a good beer. So I have been cooking a couple of meals for them, as a basically taking care of their dinner while they stay over and watch the kids. You might be wondering, what am I making? What are you cooking for them? Well, in the Instant Pot, I currently have some pork slow cooking. I've got some chunks of pork belly and a bunch of cross-cut pork spare ribs in there. So I'm running them through the pressure cooker, 55 minutes in the Instant Pot. After I've dumped the meat in, I fill it up I fill up the water line up to the 10-cup point. Then I do the pressure cook, and once it's done, I'll clean out some of that liquid, whatever, from the resulting matter that comes from cooking pork. I don't know. I never used to do it then, and I knew my parents did it, and then I just thought, why don't I? In case it's just undesirable products in the meat that needs to be cooked off and removed. So I'm going to make basically a vegetable type of soup, pork and vegetable sort of soup. It's a tamarind soup base. It's going to have green beans, daikon radish, onions, tomatoes. The leafy greens are the baby bok choy. Throw in a jalapeno pepper in there, and the tamarind soup base. I think I got everything. Yeah. So once the meat is done, all that other stuff gets tossed in, and it's good to go. The other thing I'll be making is what's called I mentioned it before, corn and zucchini pie, or zucchini and corn pie. And it consists of mushrooms, corn, and sliced zucchinis, all sauteed, cooked all nice and delicious with herbs. And then I toss in a beaten egg, one or two, I forget how many, and a bunch, I don't know, like two, how many? A bunch of shredded cheese, mozzarella, or a combination of mozzarella and Swiss. So that all becomes like this filling, right? That goes into a bake-safe ceramic type dish, and I take some of the thinly sliced zucchini that's in there, and I reposition it so that it creates a nice top layer, and I sprinkle more cheese on top. I bake that puppy up, and then I broil a little bit to brown that cheese on top, and that's the pie. My brother-in-law's wife is a pescatarian, so we often will do like a baked salmon, but we've done that too many times. We're gonna switch things up and do this baked dish. She's had it before, but yeah, I like taking care of them, and she likes to enjoy beer. So yeah, there's nothing like giving alcohol to your kids' babysitters while you're away. Anyways, I gotta go pick up that beer and that carton of milk, then head back home and wrap up the cooking that I had just described. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for listening. Remember, folks, hug your friends, hug your family, eat something delicious, and go run something. Bye. Well, that was interesting. I took the beer and the milk to a cashier. It was the attendee at the self-checkout. She can also ring things up. I was told to go there. You can't at this store. You can't self-checkout alcohol. You have to see a physical. A real human. So I walked over to first the checkout aisle. Then one of the staff was like, "Sir, can you go to the podium?" I'm like, "What do you mean the podium? I'm going to make a speech." So it's right in front of the self-checkout. I was like, okay, I knew what you were talking about. I just called the podium. Anywho, I walked over to there. I'm like, "Hi," and she saw me before, but I bypassed her, just thinking like, well, why even try? Right? I've got alcohol. So I walked over. I'm like, "Hi, I was told to come over here," and I plopped my beer and my coffee onto her podium, and I said, "I've never felt more rejected in my life." So she wasn't buying any of my funnies, so she proceeded to scan my stuff, and then she took the beer and slid it over the sensor. Then she looked over at me, realizing it was alcohol. And she asked for my ID. Gladly, I gave her my ID. And then she says, "Oh, you're old." I'm like, "Gee, thanks. I appreciate that." "You look so young," she said. In my eyes, I'm like, "Well, you look old. You must be old." That's funny. I'm somewhat shaven, and I've got a beanie on covering the fact that my hair is thinning, and I've got spots of white all over the place. And so if I revealed that and I didn't shave, and all of the white sprouts of mustache and chin hair was revealed, then she probably would have not have carded me. You're old. I laughed and dust came out of my mouth. I said, "Well, I feel old. I feel old in the morning." I swear to God. It's not hard to get out of bed in the morning, but it's just the fact that while I'm up, I'm like, man, more and more am I just like, I just need the ritual of coffee to sort of get me moving and awake. It probably helps me get awake, wake up with the coffee, but for damn sure it helps me want to take a poop.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.